G'day, I'm Kevin. I've retired from work in Australia and am living the dream here in Thailand. Relaxing, travelling, exploring, learning. Based in Chiang Mai, the journey continues. This is 52 weeks. Hello and welcome to a bright sunshiny day in the middle of rainy season. The last few days have been like this. Been quite nice in the day with some clouds kind of drifting overhead on the odd occasion, but mainly nice blue skies. Bit of rain at night. So there is still a bit of water lying around, which makes walking a little more challenging than usual, but it's not too bad. And it has in fact, and I think I've said this before, but it has in fact been a very long rainy season this year. And indeed, it has been a very hard rainy season in many ways. Up to the north of Chiang Mai, there has been some serious flooding and landslides, and lots of people have had their homes inundated. And unfortunately there have been lives lost in the floods and the landslides. But here in Chiang Mai, in the city, it hasn't been too bad. The river levels are up and down a bit. I think they're managing the levels through the city and trying to reduce the impact further downstream as much as they can. But yeah, in the city here itself, it hasn't been too bad. There's been lots of rain, of course, but the river levels are being managed pretty well. But as I say, in Chiang Mai today, it's a bright, sunshiny day, and I'm out and about. Going about my normal business, as are everybody in the city. There are some signs that they're preparing for some minor flooding, at least near the lower lying sections of the river. They've been reinforcing the levee banks and so forth. But yeah, I've just come down to Kawilla Park to have a look at the river and have a nice morning tea. So at the moment, life goes on as usual. The government has predicted severe weather and storms across virtually all of Thailand over the next 5 to 7 days, so we'll see how that goes. As you can see, there's plenty of room left in the river at the moment. It does go up and down a little bit, but yeah, it's not looking terribly serious at the moment. Lots of roadworks going on. Don't know if that's related, but we'll see. They have been doing works on the drains around the river area as well. And I remember a couple of years ago I did a trip to Koh Samui, and while I was away, all of this area flooded, all along Chiang Mai Road and the night market area, which is up that way, and Chiang Mai Lampung Road, and around my flat building, my apartment building, there was flooding around there. The building itself was protected, which I suspect they thought about when they built a big building next to the river. But yeah, I was away in Koh Samui, so I missed it all. I was doing language lessons and doing them online, but nobody could get into the school in Pantip Plaza because it was all flooded around there. So people spent a few days in their houses, I think, but nowhere near that yet. And back at the river near my place, it's actually looking relatively low at the moment. So I am more familiar with the river heights in this section of the river, because I look at them from my balcony. But yeah, the water's flowing pretty slowly at the moment and the levels are down. What I think they're doing at the moment is managing the amount of water that's flowing downstream with the dams and weirs. I think they're trying to control how much water gets down onto the Central Plains. This is one of the rivers that flows into the Chao Phraya. There's about 7 major tributaries into the Chao Phraya. So there's plenty of water coming down the system because there's been rain falling all over the country. So they've been managing, what's in the city and what they're letting downstream. So from my balcony I've been watching the river levels change from relatively high to, this is probably the lowest I've seen it in quite a while. It's probably because there haven't been any major falls in this catchment for a little while. We've had some overnight rain, but none of the all-day rains. This is one of the choke points in the river, just near my place. And as you can see, it's holding back a little bit of water. There's been a fair bit of debris coming down the river, and there's some of it caught just over there, which is making it a little bit more of a choke point than usual, but not creating any problems. So when the river's high, it looks to flow more smoothly over this choke point here, particularly on the far bank. That's the big indicator. It's generally rough through there, but sometimes if it's looking a bit smoother, that's when the river is a little bit high. At the moment it's looking rough. It's kind of odd because up near my flat it's a bit low, but here it seems to be a bit higher. I guess it's just the choke point holding it back a bit more. So things are okay here where I am at the moment, here in Chiang Mai City, although we do have another 5 to 7 days of severe storms predicted all across Thailand, so we'll see how that goes. I think it's likely to be more problematic over in Isan. There's a lot of cyclones hitting China and Vietnam, and then converting into tropical storms when they hit the coast and lose some power, but they still have plenty of water in them. So the prediction is they're going to flow right across to northern Thailand, but hopefully they will have worn themselves out by the time they get here. There's been a fair few problems in Isan. There's been some flooding from the Mekong. In fact, where Bob and I visited in Laos, in Luang Prabang, that had some water in some of the lower lying restaurants and the riverside restaurants that we were eating at. So our timing was pretty good there, but there's some problems there at the moment. And in fact, the Chinese have been trying to manage the water the way I think they're doing here, by holding back and letting it run through when they can. But they've been so inundated in their catchments, they've just been forced to let a large amount of water out of at least one of their dams. So the flooding in the Mekong area looks like persisting for a while. However, by the time you see this, which will be a couple of weeks from filming it, hopefully all of the major problems will have subsided, and we will be on the road to recovery. Anyhow, I will see you next time.